Hi guys, welcome to Football Brownie. Hope you're well, keeping safe, keeping each other safe and spreading the love during this pandemic because boy, as Cardiff City fans, each and every one of us needs as much love as people can give us at the moment. We are now on the worst losing streak ever in the club's history. Ever. And as of now, which is UK time, 3:36 UK time or 4:46 Central European time. No word from a Cardiff City boardroom has come out as yet. Well, listen, I'm opening the floor today. If anyone wants to come in and have a say, absolutely opening the floor. You would have to. You don't even. No, in fact, you don't even have to put your webcam on, but you're more than welcome. So it doesn't help. I do apologize being slightly late. Hang on. You guys in the comments saying, let me just double check you. Yeah, 1 minute ago. Finally. 1 minute ago on Twitter, Cardiff City Football Club can confirm first team manager Mick McCarthy and assistant manager Terry Connor have left the club by mutual agreement with immediate effect. Oh. But let's be honest. Let's be completely honest, guys. The nightmare is probably, more than likely, not over yet. Listen, McCarthy and Mick Ball was a massive issue. Okay? But there's also an issue in that boardroom with Mehmet Dowman and Ken Chu and, in my opinion, Vincent Tan. It's an absolute shit. Pressing this with a lisp, yeah? It's an absolute shit show. What's going on down there now? There were mad rumours, which was actually put on a Cardiff City internet forum this morning, that Neil Harris, former Cardiff City and Millwall manager Neil Harris, was going to come back as an interim manager. That has since been denied by one of the Welsh football reporters who focuses on Cardiff City. That's since been denied. Dylan, yeah, no worries at all. Right. Let me. There you go. If anyone wants to come in, you are more than welcome, okay? Absolute more than welcome. Let's go in the chat first. Yeah. Thanks, guys, for giving me the update. You're actually 1 minute ahead of me on that. My influence, yeah, he's gone. He's gone. Thank God for that. Absolute crazy. Absolute crazy. Well, the thing is, right? The thing is, you know, if all rumours were true and you're one game away from a sack, that game as well, let's be completely honest with you, that game was also against Neil Warnock and Sol Bamba, and we all know what's happened recently. What on earth are you doing by dropping Kiefer Moore? I mean, it's bizarre. Some of his decisions have been absolutely bizarre. Kiefer Moore then comes on, and I gotta say, Cohill, there was a period of about 20 minutes at the beginning of the second half. Cardiff should have got equaliser, but I have to say, you know, if managed properly, Cohill could be a rising star. But I have to reiterate that if managed properly, because he hasn't been managed properly under Mick McCarthy. Dylan Bluebird comes in. Let's add him to the chat, yeah?
Hello.
Hi, my friend. How are you?
Oh, finally done.
I know.
He's gone.
I think every Cardiff City fan...
Is the problem still there, though?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Did you go to the game today? Dylan, did you go to the game today?
Say again?
Did you go to the game today? Hello?
No, I didn't.
No? Did you watched it for? You haven't taken it? Hello? Well, I don't know what's happened there. You'll have to come back. But anyway, Gareth, hi Gareth. Hope you're well. I haven't seen you for ages, mate. Hope you and the family are well. What's the rumour about Neil Harris, Brownie? Surely not. Yeah, it's just a rumour. Paul Albertino or Albanato, whoever, apologies, Paul, if you're watching this, but yeah, he's denied those rumours about half an hour to an hour ago on Twitter. I think a certain website host was doing some clickbait there. Leslie, hi Leslie, hope you're well. Thank God Mick McCarthy's gone, but where do we go from here? Well, I tell you where we should go, Leslie. And I apologies for a greeny screen. I'm having problems with a greeny screen today. I think it's because we've got dull weather, grey overcast weather here, so I don't have light coming through a window. But I think, well, you guys all know about my issues about the lack of creativity in the midfield. I think the first thing we need to do is look into the free agent market. If we can pick someone or one or two up before January, but also we need to recall some of these players in which we've let out on loan, and as a result, our creativity from a midfield area has suffered massively. Now I know that Josh Murphy has not done well at Preston, and I know he's on big money, and I know he's got 1 year left, but at least he's an attacking outlet. Ryan Wintle, we have him from Crewe, and then all of a sudden we loan him out to Blackpool, and he's doing bits at Blackpool. And some of these decisions may not actually be Mick McCarthy's. They may be at board level because of the wage outlay, but they need to be addressed, and they need to be addressed quickly. Absolute quickly. Stefan's an Ipswich fan. Hi, Steph. Hope you're well, mate. Mick won't give a shit. You know what? You know what, right, Steph? I've always been one for going for an experienced manager. Right? I've always been one for the experienced manager. I think until it actually happens to your club. And throughout my years of watching football, I know I've seen a little bit of it with my own eyes with Dave Jones. I won't go into those kind of stories, but Mick McCarthy really has been the first manager, I'd say, to openly show that football is completely different to the sport in which I grew up and loved in the 80s and 90s. As in, it is just another pay packet. He didn't create any links between the fans. And in the end, I do seriously think that he realised that he wasn't going to do anything at Cardiff, for one reason or another. And I think he just threw in a towel. And I think he done that. Before the West Brom game. And that was the first time he'd done 5 centre-backs across the defensive line. And I think at that point, he threw in a towel. And he was just waiting for his pay packet. Let's be honest. Mick McCarthy, some other mug will come knocking at his door, and it'd be another job. And it'd be another job. And then it'd be another job. It is because of my experience of Mick McCarthy being manager of Cardiff, I am no longer one of these people who prefers to go down the experienced route at championship level. I do think that younger managers now at championship level is the way forward. We may have had our fingers burnt regarding Neil Harris, but he wasn't good enough. In my opinion, he was never good enough to take the Cardiff job. I don't know what you guys think. Let's go in the comments anyway. Taib, hi Taib, hope you're well. John, hi John. Yeah, Dylan on McDonald's Wi-Fi. Let's see. Now the next circus is yeah. Oh, he is an absolute clown. And I tell you why he is a clown. It's because he put so much trust in people at board level who have made so many bad decisions throughout their time at the club. We are not talking single figure bad decisions. We are talking double figure bad decisions. And he continues to put confidence in these people. Matt, hi Matt, hope you're well. He says bookies have Wilder, Bruce and Allardyce. Now Wilder has been spotted, or he was spotted at Cardiff's game against Fulham during midweek. If I'm honest with you, and I have been saying this now for a while, I think the club need to start getting the supporters on board, because I think it's a gap has been created so big now that the next manager, in my opinion, needs to have very, very strong ties with the club. And he needs, in my opinion, to be some kind of respected former player. Now, I know a lot of that would probably help with the wages as well, because let's be honest, a lot of them will probably, the ones named will probably come with a nice smaller pay packet from the likes of Mick McCarthy. But the ones mentioned have been Mark Hudson, in my opinion, Graham Kavanagh. But I also do think that we need a director of football. And I have been crying out for a director of football for many years at Cardiff City. And in my opinion, the director of football should be Stephen McPhail, who has done wonders as director of football at Shamrock Rovers. And as a result, they've even made the group stages at the European competition now. Wilder, I think Wilder, all the likes of Sam Allardyce, let's be honest, they will only come if there's a big, big money pot for them in January. And I don't think there is. Mehmet Dalman, in an interview this morning before the game, has literally admitted that it's not going to be much money come January. So you have to play with what you got. I don't know. What do you guys think? Mike Hill says, a couple of years ago, Cardiff top end of the championship player. Yeah. I know, mate. I completely agree. Allardyce McCarthy would be. I know. Hey, I tell you what, right? I was watching that game earlier on, and you know, bloody air traffic control may as well have left that game. The ball was so much in the air, and I actually knocked the sound down of when I was watching it and put Radio Wales on. And I have to give a big shout out to both Rob Phillips and Joe Ledley because their commentary on me was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And I've known Joe for a long, long time because I always used to bump into him in the supermarket because he lived in a Penarth area. And yeah, you know, I do think it needs to be someone who has strong ties to take take club forward. Richard, anyone mentioned Ainsworth from Wickham? Well, Ainsworth played for Cardiff. Many people are mentioning him going forward. I'd be dead against Steve Bruce, absolutely dead against it, because he would just be another one, be another pay packet. I'm dead against these kind of managers now. After this experience, I'm dead against these kind of managers. Yeah, I've just opened a beer. I do apologize. I know what the green screen is not up to its normal standards. Brownie, next Cardiff manager. Oh, Jesus, can you imagine? Can you imagine? Right, let's try again with Dylan, yeah?
Hello?
Hi, Dylan.
I'll try it again. I don't know if it'll work
Yeah,
this
no,
time.
wait. Listen. Do me a favour. Just pop to a toilet. Oh, there you go. Do me
Yeah.
a favour. I'll just pop to a toilet quickly. Just tell
Yeah.
the guys what what you think of the game and everything like that, yeah?
Yeah, that's fine. Oh. Yeah, awful game. Great that he's been sacked, but who are we going to bring in now? We're in an awful state of the club. I know, Sam got the England job. Pellegrini. Problem is, we have Kiefer Moore who doesn't want to be there, which will be a big problem for Cardiff. We won't get Eddie Howe. Tony Pulis, he's too old for me. Don't know about you.
Right, sorry, mate.
Sorry.
Right. So you didn't go to the game? Did you watch a game?
No, I'm in Pembrokeshire. So
Okay,
I can't.
yeah, but did you watch it on a dodgy stream or something or no?
No, I watch it on Sky.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, what do you think of the game first, mate?
Again, we had no opportunities really, did we? We had one from a corner. James Collins again. You wouldn't trust him to score. We're in a really bad state at the moment. Like, I'm not happy that Mick's sacked. I thought I'd be cheering and all that, but I'm not. It's great that he's been sacked, but who are we going to bring in? No one. Are we going to bring in Wilder? Maybe. We've got no good attackers really. Moore doesn't want to be there. It's not just Mickey's falling out with. He just doesn't want to be at the club. He wanted to move in the summer, didn't he?
Yeah. You can tell that. And you can't blame him really. A guy's 29.
No.
A guy's 29, and if I'm honest with you, this January will probably be his last opportunity to play or have a chance at Premier League level. That's why, look, the offer from Wolves were pennies.
Yeah.
But if it had gone to team strengthening, I probably would have taken it if a result of that had one or two creative midfielders.
Yeah.
Can you see what I'm getting at?
I know. But what, for the Jack Wilshere thing, I'm not sure he's going to join now, even if he was training at the club. But the ball's just going over his head, even if he did join, isn't it? You're just looking up constantly.
I know. Regarding because I had a bit flack really about Jack Wilshere. People need to realise that players especially out of contract players. I mean, Sol
Yeah.
Bamba was even training for Cardiff for many, many weeks, really.
Yeah.
Whittingham, when he wasn't with Blackburn anymore, he was
Yeah.
training with Cardiff. Players, when they free agents, they do like
I
to
know.
train with a club
Yeah.
to keep fitness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just
But
because a player is training with a club, it doesn't mean that he's signing tomorrow morning.
I know Jack Wilshere was training with Bournemouth for a long time before anyone realised, and he signed to the club months after he started training with them.
Yeah. And I know that he's also helping out with the Arsenal youth.
Arsenal, yeah.
But the pictures I seen the other day with that was in darkness. So you're probably looking about 7, 8 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
The amount of players and in fact managers who actually lived in and around the London area and was commuting back and forth to Cardiff every single day over the years have been incredible. It's only 2.5, 3 hours away,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, what do you think? What do you think of the likes of Josh Murphy? Are you in the pro Josh Murphy camp or against?
I've always stuck with Josh Murphy, even when everyone was against him. I've always been a fan of him. I don't know why. I don't know why he's lazy. He puts no effort, but there's always something about him. I know he just gives us something that you can't really describe. He just goes at plays. He's confident. To be fair, even though he gets a lot of stick, he's a very confident person. You need that. It's only Ruben Cole who's going at players these days.
Yeah.
It's like Collins, Harris always looking to pass backwards. They're scared. I think they're scared. I don't think it's so much long ball. I honestly think they're a bit scared of Mick, in a way.
Yeah, I get what. He's not even on Peter Whittingham's level. I want to make that before I make this comment. But there were occasions or periods within even Whittingham's career. You got certain players who may come across as if he's not interested in the game, but he only needs one or two flashes of brilliance to open up a game. I think Josh Murphy is one of those players, but he can come across as frustrating to the eye.
I remember against was it Preston? I remember he wasn't even challenged for headers. He was awful that day, I think. But the problem is he's not going to play consistent if he's not starting. You need to start him for 5 games, maybe even 3 out of those 5 games will be awful. But you just got to keep starting and see what happens, because no one's given him. Warnock started him for about, I think, 7 games consistently, and he played decent for a lot of them. But Mick's only given him 1 or 2 games and rested him.
Yeah, and what you got to think of as well is with Murphy, he's in the last year of his contract. Now, this is why I'm a bit puzzled, really, why he hasn't done very well at Preston, because he's on loan up there at the moment.
Yeah.
He's on, during the last year of your contract, you should be playing for a new contract for next year, really, whether it's with the club in which you're with or with clubs who are looking at you. That's why I'm a bit confused, really.
Yeah, I am too. I'm just confused about. I heard somewhere today that Vincent Tan's looking to get in 20 under 23 players in next year in the first squad, and that's just saying to me they're not going to extend Morrison's contract pack.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that quite often now for the last few weeks. That one of the reasons that Morrison may not be playing well is because he has been told that he wouldn't have a renewed contract at the end of the season. What's your opinion on Morrison? If I'm honest with you, I think he's past his peak.
Yeah,
I
100%. He's not with it this year. He almost looks like he's put on weight and not fit enough for me. He's really slowed down for me this season. Last season, I thought actually he's not as slow as people say he is. He was catching up, but this season he's so far behind it. Yeah. He honestly looks like he's not fit enough to me.
Absolute card horses.
Brown is something else. Brown. Yeah. I remember this guy behind us, me, who sits in for my season ticket in Cardiff in the Camden stand. We were playing West Brom like 2-0 down. Brown in the middle of the park just boots out of play, just left straight away. He is absolutely useless, Brown.
Yeah. Hey, you got a great second name. Don't worry, but you haven't got a good. You haven't got good footballing. You haven't got good footballing ability. Yeah, I think Morrison over his time at Cardiff, I think he's got away with not having pace
Yeah,
because he's always had a central defensive partner
yeah,
which have covered for him.
yeah.
If yeah,
He's
and
had
now
Manga and people like that.
Flint did more avocados than he is. I went to the first game back. I went to watch the Bristol City game, and you could tell then anyone with a pace, an attacking pace, would absolutely rip from a new one.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, yeah,
And
100%. Yeah.
I don't know where we go, mate. If I'm honest with you,
I know, and I think Volks is just a disgrace, to be honest. At the moment, he's challenging, getting yellow cards, arguing with the ref, putting all his effort into arguing with the ref. To be honest, he's putting no effort in the game. To be honest, I think he's a disgrace to the club at the moment.
Marlon Pack. I'd rather Marlon Dingo in the middle of a park. You know?
Yeah. I don't mind Marlon Pack and Collins just for their effort. That's all. They're not good players for me.
I'm really disappointed with Collins. When he signed, I thought, you know what, that's a quality free agent because of what he done with Luton.
Yeah,
He's done it at this level. I'm really disappointed what I've witnessed with Collins.
Yeah.
And his footballing mind, his thinking,
I know,
is proper League Two level.
I know. There's some of the runs. I reckon he's running one of them. He's running probably one of the. He's running a lot during the game. He's just some of the runs are stupid, aren't they?
I know.
I mean, yeah. I don't even know what to say about him. He's useless, really. It's like,
and also you have to agree with what Ian Williams have just said. The trouble with our club, obviously Cardiff, is the board. You can get Klopp, Guardiola down there, but we still have the same fools running the club. You have to agree with that.
Yeah. Sorry, my brother came in screaming.
No worries. Is he a Cardiff fan?
Whoever. No, he's Liverpool. He watches Cardiff as well.
All
but,
right, well.
Yeah. But yeah, it doesn't matter who we bring into the club. They're not going to make a difference, are they? When we have people like Volks, Pack in the midfield, counting on Bowen, no one's going to make a difference. Whoever comes in, to be honest.
Yeah, I know it. I'm just Darman, by all accounts, you're talking the CEO or chairman or whatever you want, whatever his bloody title is these days. It's his first Cardiff game this season. Yeah. Was today.
I know. I knew he was going to get sacked because you could tell it was serious by when Mehmet Dalman was here. But he's a disgrace to the club. Honestly, I'll be throwing rocks at his head.
Yeah.
Honestly, I can't stand the guy. He's just running away. He's got this. What's his name? Adil Rashid, is it?
Yeah. Don't start me on him. Don't start me on him. People who are following me on Twitter know that I do have a little pop at him every now and then.
Yeah.
Basically because Cardiff on a worse run, and this guy who's employed one way or another by Cardiff is just commenting on his Twitter feed about Liverpool or some other random football story. It's really bizarre how it's run. I mean, I was listening to both Jason Perry and Joe Ledley, and from both former massive Bluebird heroes, you can tell there's people hurting at the moment. There's people absolutely hurting, and many people are fearing the worst. Which the worst, let's be honest, could be relegation.
I know it comes to something when I'm not that excited about the fact that McCarthy's been sacked. Because I know we're going to bring in, it's going to be. In fact, I reckon we'll bring in someone because why would Terry Connor leave? Or why would they get rid of Terry Connor if because he doesn't know that Mick's going to get another job. Mick could retire any minute, and Terry Connor's not. I don't know what if they were going to give it to assistant manager, they would give it to someone like him. So I'm hoping they're bringing in someone new, not just going to get one of the backroom staff and put them in.
Well, Taycon has followed Mick everywhere, really.
Yeah.
The only time I can remember Taycon as staying behind for a few more weeks was when Mick got sacked at Wolves. And it was basically a few more weeks left of the Premier League season. They were already relegated.
I know they were already.
So because they went together over Cyprus as well. I would not be surprised if they have already got another job lined up.
I'm glad Dalman said that he's not going to get Stephen Morrison, because a few weeks ago I would have been happy with him, but it's too risky to bring in someone like him at the moment. I'd be raging if we got relegated because of an under-23 manager coming in.
Richard comes back. Sorry, mate. Richard comes back, says, you have to take your hat off to Tan because his money saved us, but Dalman and right. Yes, at one point. Okay. But I just want to clarify this. On a recent interview, Dalman, I say recent, it was in the summer, Dalman stated that Tan was putting, 3 million a month into the club? I think that claim has not been confirmed by any paperwork whatsoever, including the paperwork at Company's House. Okay, so let's put that right, yeah?
I'm just getting a charger for a sec.
Sorry?
I'm just going to get a charger.
Yeah, no worries. We'll come back then. Anyway, let's go back and you got to get out of that position by Christmas. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Otherwise, it could look bleak. Really, honestly, man. The only club I have seen do something which was magical was basically when Roy Keane took over Sunderland. Remember, he took them over when they were in relegation in January, wasn't it? And then throughout January, they had a few signings, and were they champions then by the end of the season? Richard, apparently they've had 2 meetings in New Harris. Yeah, just to reiterate, Paul, I still can't pronounce his surname, Abanito, the popular media guy, sports media guy here in Wales. He's actually confirmed that rumour is false. So, yeah. Stefan, how does Mick keep getting jobs? Yeah, I agree. I do agree with your comment, Ben. How does he keep on getting jobs? Well, let's be honest. When he was announced Cardiff manager. Cardiff it was a firefight, and he really done well. And everyone, in fact, Dalman, during his interview today, has also said, "Oh, I can't believe the difference from what it was last season when Mick come in, to now." Well, hang on. Mick has been going back to that 10-game unbeaten run. Hang on, Mick. During that 10-game unbeaten run, you had the likes of High Wilson, Ojo. You haven't got those players anymore. That team has been ripped up, basically. Yes, they were loans, but you could have played the loan market, but you didn't. I'm really confused, if I'm honest with you. I'm really confused. We've had Giles on loan, who has been an absolute inspirational signing. But in that centre midfield area, we are lacking immensely. I don't know what you think, Dylan.
I'm also wondering what they're actually doing in training, because if you're telling me they're doing passing drills in training, I wouldn't believe you for a second. No way. The passing accuracy is just awful. I mean, it's the worst. I've never seen it this bad. The amount of passes that I know, I'm not talking about the long ball one, I'm just talking about simple ones. Like today when we saw Collins passing it to Cole and we could have scored, it was just like, it was a half pass. There's no effort in it.
I listened to Joe Ledley about that, who was mentioning, and he said Mark Harris and Cohill, two youngsters coming through a kind of like pass and move type of
Yeah.
system at the under 23s. They come in into completely different way of playing at first team level. And he said the only two players who wanted to do short passes, pass and move, were them two today.
Yeah.
And as he was mentioning it, you had Kieran Brown then just doing a hit and hope. Found nobody.
I know.
Absolutely give possession away then.
Saw that a million times today with him.
Tom Palmer, hi Tom. He says another payoff from Mick. Yeah, it is. But I think it's coming to the end of these type of managers. I think it's coming to the end of these type of managers. I think now people are starting to see right through them.
I'm worrying that Wilder's going to be, if we do appoint him, he'll be too much too far on the old side. For me, I reckon he'll start doing close to long ball.
Well, I say, listen, Wilder needs to get back into football ASAP.
Yeah.
Eddie Howe needs to get back into football, but Eddie Howe was approached when they were looking for, before McCarthy.
Yeah.
And Eddie Howe responded to Cardiff and said, "Look, my aspirations are higher than Cardiff." So I doubt if he would take it.
No, he wouldn't take it.
These people or these type of managers have their names out there, and there's no way they would take a Cardiff job without a promise or reassurance or even something in writing that they will have a lot of money to spend in January.
Yeah,
because there's no way they damage their careers long term if they manage Cardiff and took us down to League One.
Yeah.
So who would you fancy? Sorry, mate. Go on. I interrupted you.
No, I was just going to say, and then also when the manager takes over, it'll also be like, I'm going to have no money to spend in January, which means the fans will be, even if I'm losing games, they'll be also getting on my back. They'll also be even more frustrated with the fact that we've brought no one in.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so they'll be fuming the fact that we're losing and the fact that we've brought no one in. So, it's not going to be easy if a manager comes in and goes on a bad run. It'll be even worse, be made even worse. The fact that
what could work in a club's favour really is how Kieran Maguire told me this. I don't know if you listen to Kieran Maguire, the Price of Football podcast, but he's a football finance expert, and he said the money that go to the EFL, 80% of that money is shared between the championship clubs. The remaining 20% is shared between League One and League Two clubs. Now, what is probably going in Cardiff fans' favour or the club's favour is the fact that Tan is playing a risky game now. He will lose millions if we get relegated.
Yeah.
So what does he do? Does he invest more? He has to. He got no... Because without doubt, I'm convinced we're getting relegated with this team at the moment.
100%. But yeah, going back to your question, who would I bring in? Honestly, I'm not sure yet. But I know you might not agree with me, but I wouldn't be raging if we got relegated playing decent football, not long ball. If we got relegated playing long ball, then I'd be absolutely fuming. But we're not going to get in top half. Let's be honest. Unless we go on an amazing run like we did last year, but it'll be very hard going to away games and winning all of them. So I don't know. Out of the options, I put Wilder.
Listen, mate,
he'll keep the club stable.
I remember watching Cardiff when I first watched Cardiff. It was '87, and we were nearly getting relegated to the conference. So I've been to those levels of football watching Cardiff. And you just have to listen to Ipswich, Sunderland, Wigan fans. Bolton.
Yeah. I know. That's what I'm worried about.
The thing is, if we get relegated, how long will Leeds down there until they got promoted to a championship? You know,
But what you also have to
we've
remember,
got Oldham.
yeah. But what you have to remember is Nottingham Forest were in the same state where the fans thought we've got no creative players in our team. We can't defend. 2 secs. I'll be back in a sec. Sorry.
Okay, man. I'll go into the comments. Tommy, is that Tommy Collins from North Wales? Anyway, no, I would not take Chris Coleman. We've had enough ex-Swansea people with Terry Connor. That's a good point, actually. Football has changed. People like Mick Dunt, yeah. Zach says Chris Wilder. Again, Chris Wilder would not take a job like Cardiff without promising him money. Surely not. And Stefan, who is an Ipswich fan, says League One is a really hard division to get out with. I know it took Cardiff ages to get out of it. Well, get out to the bottom too, let's be honest. But yeah, what do everyone else think? Anyone else want to come in as well? It's a shocking state of affairs. Absolute shocking state of affairs. I don't know. In the real world, says you guys relieved he's gone. I'm relieved he's gone, yes. But Cardiff City is rotten from top to bottom. And it's more than, in my opinion, it's more than a manager that has to go. Yeah, and as for Fisherman, hope you're well, mate. Deeper than a manager, yeah, no connection exactly. Yeah, I was there, Fisherman, as you know, my friend. I was there. Monmouth, you from Fisherman, isn't it? Anyway, so who do you fancy then?
Yeah, sorry. So I would pick Wilder because we saw what happened with Nottingham Forest. The fans were like, we've got no defence, no one creative. We're going down. They were in the same problem as us. Cooper comes in, turns it around. If we saw Wilder coming, I know we haven't got a bad as team as someone like, I don't know, Blackpool. We've got a better team than Blackpool. We've beaten them easy. You know, they said we dominated them. We can see what we can do when we're playing the right players in the right positions, when we're not having Bakuna playing camp because he's got no pace. Let's be honest, Bakuna's got absolutely no pace. He should be in the centre midfield. And I do think he could do a decent job there because we have seen it when you've been playing well. Bakuna can be effective. He can be lazy at times. I know that, but he can also be very effective. But I picked Wilder. I think he's just going to steady the ship.
I think given the finances at the moment, the club are looking at a cheap manager, and I don't know about you, but I'm convinced that because there's such a massive divide at the moment between the boardroom and the club and the fans. I think the only way to try and rebuild that connection is by getting a former player who has massive links with the club.
Yeah.
I've been campaigning for now. I know people say, "Oh, are you only doing it because he's been on your channel, blah blah blah." But I've been campaigning for Kavanagh to be manager and McPhail to be director of football. Sure. We need a director of football because people have been on about the amount of money being wasted. The amount of money has been wasted over years simply because we've never had a director of football. And people, non-football people, have been in charge of finances, throwing money down the drain.
What was his name? Sorry, Eddie. What was
Eddie Newton?
Yeah, Eddie
Newton.
He played for the club. He's been at Chelsea. He knows what it's like, to play attractive football. I'm just wondering if he could use some of the tactics that he learned from Chelsea. Whether we could just give him a go, to be honest.
Hey, Eddie Newton would definitely have my support. I mean, you look at previously, some of the coaching. I mean, Brendan Rodgers started his coaching at Chelsea's youth ranks before he went to Swansea. I got no problem at all with Eddie Newton. I remember Eddie Newton playing for City. But it does need some, people have been mentioning Mark Hudson. I know Kevin McNaughton mentioned him on Twitter a few days ago. It needs a former player now to get that connection with the fans and the club. Because I tell you something, if this appointment doesn't work out, then all hell could break loose.
Yeah. I was with you when McCarthy. I never wanted him in the job, McCarthy, and I knew when it came to stuff like this, when we're on a bad run, he would wind me up in his press conferences, and he did. I just get fed up with some of the stuff he talks about. When he's talking about, like, I know he knew he was going to lose the job, but I don't want to really know what kind of support he's getting from his family. I know it's like important to have it, but I'm not really that bothered. When we saw the questions that he didn't answer, that's what I get frustrated at.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up, because and people in the chat know, I've been really getting, the press conferences have been getting me angry every single week. And you know what? You know what as well? Whether it's a club or McCarthy, didn't you have the audacity to do a pre-match press conference before the Fulham game? Now, I don't know why. No, there was no pre-match press conference.
Yeah.
And I had an issue with Glenn Williams, because after the Fulham game, it came across, it was reported, or nicey questions from the reporters and so on. And then Glenn Williams came on Twitter and said, I asked him 4 questions and he one-word answers. So I went back to Glenn Williams and I said, look, if he's being a see you next Tuesday with his answers, report that then. Because the way he'd been reporting is making you look like fools, really.
I know.
But
I knew...
Go on,
I knew he was going to be sacked today, because who do we play on Saturday? Swansea. How did I forget that? Sunday, sorry. I remember someone putting after the game that someone I know, he is reliable. He said that McCarthy will be sacked after Middlesbrough, regardless of what happens. And you could tell by the press conferences that he just wasn't right. He knew he was going to be gone after the game.
But if that was the case, I think that just shows a disrespect by the board, really, because we basically, no one really thought we could get anything out of Fulham away. We played really well, especially in the first half, right? But today, the board has just thrown 3 points out of the window.
I know.
Or at least
they were going to sack him. They were going to sack him. They were going to sack him regardless of what happened. So
exactly,
just 3 valuable points thrown out the window. And the Derby losing at the moment. I hope they are, because otherwise we're going to be in trouble. And Barnsley.
Ian says, director of football should have. But I know in business, sometimes you trust people and you give them money to spend on your behalf. But if they're spending correctly a handful of times, that the position should be obtainable. Lo and behold, they've been spending bad decisions 10, 20, 30 times.
I know, but the thing with Glatzel, what happened there, it was the right mistake to make. He scored a lot of goals in the Bundesliga. We sign him for a low price tag, and he doesn't work out, I know, but we're spending stuff like 3-4 million on Aidan Flint, who, he scores goals, but what else has he done?
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. If any football fan with any football knowledge, right, went to scout Aidan Flint, right? No, you could score goals, don't get me wrong, but if you watch Aidan Flint, the first time I seen him, I was like, what the fucking hell? It really was that bad. It was proper schoolboy stuff. Yeah. He was getting done, the striker was turning him left and right, made him look like absolute card horse. Anyone who scouted Aidan Flint should be sacked.
Yeah.
Fisherman says, Brownie, have you listened to Blakey's podcast? I didn't listen to it, but I have heard about it. And I will be listening to it later on. He says about Eddie. Yeah, I do like Blakey as well, if I'm honest with you. Gone are the days where, yeah. Ian Williams, I agree. McPhail is there. Yeah, you should. Absolutely. John says Palace dominated Newcastle. And 1-0, okay. Ian, next appointment have to be spot on, otherwise we're going down. It's scary to think who will appoint. You have to agree with that. You have to agree with that one.
Yeah. I mean, it came to something. Yes, Fulham. It never happened before. But when we went 1-0 down, I had no reaction. That's how much we've fallen. I had no reaction at all. I wasn't even annoyed. Well, I was annoyed, but I wasn't showing it. Before,
well, I'll be completely honest with you. And it's not the first time I've done it this season, because I done it during the West Brom, before the West Brom game.
Yeah.
I actually done a Judas bet. I had no confidence whatsoever. I had actually done a Judas bet, and I can bring it up here, actually. Just bear with me. I don't like doing it. One second. I don't know if you can see that. Anyway, no, I don't think you can see that. Anyway,
yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, I put a bet on Middlesbrough to win 2-0. I cashed out on about 80th minute, and yeah, I hate doing it, but it was written in the stars that they were going to win because of Warnock and Show Bamba and so on, and yeah, so there you go.
But I wasn't too impressed today by him, but I think McGuinness was a great signing.
Yeah, this is another thing I'd like to have a chat about. McGuinness, because we all know what the issues between Show Bamba and the club, and Mick McCarthy's poked his nose into it now, claiming to have spoken to Show before he left, about the no extension to his contract. I listened to Radio Wales. Apologies, I can't remember the name, who else was in the studio with them. But Rob Phillips did ask them, what do you think about, whose story do you believe? Do you believe McCarthy that he actually told Shaw in his office, or do you believe Show Bamba's story that, he found out on Twitter? And the response was, I can't remember who it was. Ewan Roberts, maybe? One of them. His response was, I will always believe the player. And it was that response, I thought to myself, McCarthy, you are just covering up the bad the bad things in which that boardroom do.
Yeah, he's just bad PR. Yeah.
Anyway, listen, it's been 50 odd minutes. I need to get my head down. Many thanks, Dylan. Much appreciated for coming on.
Yeah,
I hope this is the first of many times.
Yeah. I'll do it again, 100%.
Yeah, no worries at all. And
hopefully next time we'll be happier.
Well, hopefully. I very much doubt it. Very much doubt it. Maybe more grey hairs after watching another poor performance by City, but many thanks. Guys in the chat, many thanks. Please help spread the word. And come on, Bluebirds. Come on. Okay, catch you later, mate.
All right, cheers. Thank you.
Cheers, mate.